acoustic act on 111 Records, which is Brad's record label, and I am from everywhere. I grew up in Massachusetts, but I've lived in Ireland for the last 8 years. I was born in Hong Kong. I've lived in England and Australia briefly, and I travel all the time, so I'm from everywhere.
When did you decide that pursuing a career in music was something you wanted to do?
When I was about 14 and a half, or maybe 15. When I was about 14, I moved to Ireland, and I started taking piano lessons when I was a kid, when I was 6 or 7, but I didn't really like it very much. I didn't like practicing, and it just was like a chore, same as doing my math homework. But then when I moved to Ireland, I started taking guitar lessons, and I was like, I realized I put a few songs together and I said a few words, and I was like, wow, this is a song. It's a really crappy song, but it's a song. I actually wrote a song, and I was like, I could try and get better at this. And I was like, this, would be fun. So I started a bunch of bands.
Is your first tour that you've been on, or have you done stuff outside?
No, I've actually, no, this isn't my first tour. I sort of put out a first CD a few years back in Ireland, and I toured. I was doing about 150, 175 shows in Ireland a year, and like the UK and stuff. I don't think they were very beneficial because I don't think I was very good back then. But I was doing it for experience's sake, so I toured a lot. And then I signed a record deal with 111 Records, and I decided to come over to America last November and start touring, but I didn't have a van or any money or anything, and there were bands much taking precedent on the label, over me, and so I just decided to hitchhike and take Greyhound buses, and I booked all these shows up and down the east coast of America, and so I did that for 2 months, and then I got a van in January, and I toured. I did a month-long tour with Rookie of the Year. I did some shows. I did a show opening for Lenka. I did some other little bits and pieces. I did a lot of college shows, all coffee houses, and now this tour. So I've been on tour since last November, basically. Solid.
How has the response been for you on this tour?
The response on this tour has been great. Honestly, I would have thought everyone would probably talk through an acoustic set because they're looking to have a fun party LFO set. This guy gets up with an acoustic guitar. But I mean, the audience has been responding great. People seem to really dig it, I suppose. I guess sometimes it's nice to be able to hear everything, which always helps being an acoustic act. People can hear all the words and all the stuff, whereas full bands, 80% of the time, we can't really make it all out. It's about the energy. So it's nice to have a balance, I guess.
Who would you like to tour with after?
Would I like to tour with?
Yeah, anybody.
I'd love to tour with the John Butler Trio. I'd love to tour with Jason Mraz. Jeez. I'd love to tour with Jimmy Eat World, Incubus, Dave Matthews, Ben Harper, David Rudd, 07. The Eagles. I don't know. Just everybody. I could just name it out. List. I'd love to tour with one of my favorite singer-songwriters, a guy named Foy Vance. He's from Northern Ireland. He's had signed a couple songs on Grey's Anatomy and stuff, but he's still like an indie Irish artist. He's my absolute favorite musical artist in the world, probably. His album's amazing. Death Cab. I'd love to tour with Death Cab. Just to listen to their set every night. Just have a free show every night.
Right.
We're not even going to start. I got hundreds and hundreds more. None of those. If you were on a desert island.
No, we can do that. If you were on a desert island, what's one thing that you would want with you?
Give at least 2 things.
Okay, two.
2 things that I would have to have with me. Isn't it usually 3 things, like the 3 wishes of a genie?
Okay,
so if I'm on a desert island, there's 3 things I have to have with me. Well, I always go for the old standard. I would have to have a pillow. I need comfort in my head and my neck when I'm sleeping. I would probably have to have. I'd have to stock up my iPod and have my iPod with me. And I'm just gonna guess that an iPod and headphones counts as one thing, right?
Well, that's very long though. to charge it?
Oh my gosh. Well, what I'd have to have on the island with me is a self-charging iPod, which I will have invented by that time. You just push a button on it and it charges. Yeah, totally. And
Yes.
or a solar powered. That's very good. A solar powered iPod, and wow, for some reason a genie keeps coming into my head now that I've said that. That would be sweet to have on an island.
So you just keep getting
More and more.
things.
Yeah, that's it. You know, or maybe just like a TV with the full Disney DVD collection. That'd be pretty tight.
There you go.
That'd also be pretty cool. Or a coffee machine with a lifetime supply of coffee.
Creamer too, though. You need creamer.
And creamer, coffee mate. We're way past 3 things right now. I'm staging myself up on this island with a nice little cabin and stuff. You know, probably too much. Some multivitamins. I think I need deodorant.
Deodorant, yes.
Yeah, let's do a run to Walmart before I go to the desert island.
Why don't we just build a Walmart?
Yeah, there would be a.
That's your one thing.
That's the one thing I would have to have on the island is a Walmart where everything was free. There you go.
Inside the Walmart would have to be a Subway and a Dunkin' Donuts.
Exactly. Coffee and sandwiches, but everything would be free.
If you were to put your iPod on shuffle right now, what do you think the first 5 songs would be?
Probably. There'd probably be some hip hop. Probably something like the first stuff to come up, like The Roots. Obviously, a lot of The Roots. They're from Philly. The Roots, or Jurassic 5. Maybe people in Lyrics Born would probably come up. Let's see. So there has some hip hop coming up. Probably Jimmy Eat World, because I got all their records on there. They definitely come in somewhere. I would say probably Death Cab as well, because I remember Death Cab on the iPod. Maybe Paul Simon's Graceland would probably come up, something from that album would probably come up. John Butler would probably come up as well. So I've got his entire back catalog on my iPod, so I'm just playing the odds.
You mentioned that you released a CD over in Ireland. Do you have one out right now that fans can buy, or do you expect one soon?
Yeah, that one that I released in Ireland a few years ago was called New Age Robin Hood. It was a really, really bad album. It was like just a little DIY album that I did myself. Some guys in a studio in Dublin, and then I recorded a new record, which is called Perfect People Are Boring, and it's the one that is out now on 111 Records. It's on iTunes. We have it at shows. And yeah, that's out now, and I'm going to be going in October to LA to record an acoustic EP of some newer acoustic stuff. And, who knows after that? So really, Perfect People Are Born is the only record that's out.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Is there something about you that fans might not know, or that you want to let viewers that aren't familiar with who you are?
Okay, let's see. I have an irrational fear of bees. I really like the ocean.
Oh, me too.
I'm quite a big fan of seafood. If I could, I would probably live on sushi, but I can't afford it. I eat way too much Subway. I find it very hard to sleep without 2 pillows. Giving all my info. I have a pet peeve about people leaving microwaves open, even though I know that nothing will really, really happen. And that's about it. That's about all I can think of off the top of my head.
Was there a final message that you have for the people?
Final message? That's very morbid. For those of you watching out there.
Any last words then?
That's so bad. Any last words?
If you get this in time.
There's more than just coffee. Coffee for you.
Yeah, exactly. Good words. For those about to rock, we salute you.